Alright everyone, it's time for Occult Literature, video number 123, an explanation of the natural philosopher's tincture. An interesting work of alchemy. It's 37 pages long, so it's on the short-ish side, but as far as alchemical works go, it's actually a little bit longer than many of them. Some of these are freakishly short. Some of the really short ones, I had to roll up 3 works into one edition, actually, to even release them because they were so tiny. As always, link in the description to my edition of this work on Amazon, a second link to my books blog. This is an Alexander von Schuchten work. One of the, not quite as famous as some of the other figures within alchemy, but nonetheless, this is an interesting work specifically, because it's talking about the materials worked with in the latter stages of alchemy, sort of the finding of the sorcerer's stone in some traditions, which is basically counterfeiting. Truth be told, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Either the counterfeiting sort of stuff, which is called out in the Petit Albert, among other works. I believe Hollandus also called it out. Or the making of elixir of medicinal material, which Hollandus himself is well covered. It was if you made this certain material, and sometimes it was through the use of antimony, sometimes lead, sometimes gold, and other materials. You could inject it into wounds as an antiseptic. You could take it orally. Not the greatest idea because some of this is lead-based. And you could cure, basically, they thought, all diseases. Usually you took it with wine, so you probably did feel a little bit better thereafter. After your second or third dose, you probably felt pretty good. Even if you were, suffering with the plague, you're a little bit out of it, so it didn't matter as much. This particular work, though, deals with, the green lion, sort of the black raven stuff, the metaphoric veil for these various chemical terms, but it takes you step by step through it, proves itself with secondary sources. It draws on dozens of other works, including the Rosarium, in order to prove its sort of process, and you're creating these materials that are of use within alchemy. It's sort of a precursor to the other greater works within alchemical lore. So for that purpose, it's fairly straightforward. Going beyond that, though, it does apply very overt religious overtones to it. It talks a lot about Christian religious iconography and things of those natures. And that spiritual component is also of interest. Some people are more interested in the philosophical side, like the spiritual side of alchemy, as a metaphor for human spiritual and physical processes. Others, they want the more hands-on approach. With this, you get sort of an admixture of the two. It's a chemical process it's speaking of, but it's also giving these, sort of general spiritual metaphors. So again, link in the description of my edition of this work on Amazon, and a second link to my books blog. If you are interested in alchemy, there are a great many works there now available. You can branch out beyond that. There's some occult fiction. There's certainly occult nonfiction, the grimoires, the folklore, the more academic side, and cryptids. It's a little bit of everything there, including a few sacred spiritual texts. I'll be adding more to that over time as well. That's about all. Peace out.